Yes, welcome to Torn Between Two Brothers, episode 23. We are doing a solo podcast. We had guests 3 weeks in a row, and we said, you know what? That's enough. We don't want any more guests. We need to get back to what's real. We need to get back to the brotherly love in this building.
And if we're being honest, we had 3 bad guests in a row. So, we need to, bring it back. No, I want to take this moment real quick to thank the 3 guests that actually kind of popped in last minute for us. And kind of were like, yeah, we've been wanting to be on the show. And we know with the quarantine and everything going on, we would love to be part of the show. I mean, they were interested beforehand, but it kind of tied everything together with all the long distance relationships we have.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And to start off every episode, I'm just going to say, for those of you that are in here, this is Torn Between Two Brothers. We talk about things that interest us, things that are relevant and new to us in the past, present, the future, the trending, whatever it may be. But I do have a quick PSA before we start getting into it, as of every episode, because we have to have a quick PSA. What's a fucking Torn Between Two Brothers episode? What is the Torn folk going to do unless we give a quick PSA, you know? But I would love for you to subscribe to Torn Between Two Brothers, because if you don't, I'm going to go get my medical degree. Not any medical degree. I'm going to get a medical degree specializing in hearing, in which I will offer free consultations. 1-800-HEARING by Brandon Bergeron. And I will lure you into my trap, in which I will offer you an affordable implant that will fix your damaged hearing, because I told you it was damaged during the meeting. And when you get that implant for a small cost of $5, I didn't write this down, I'm just improvising right now, dude. It's only going to be able to play our audio podcast in your ears. And the only way to make it stop, dude, is to subscribe to Torn Between Two Brothers. So,
make a second account and subscribe to Torn Between Two Brothers.
Yeah, but really, I do have one favor to ask everyone. After this podcast is over, during, before, whatever it is, just try to send it out to one of your friends, because ultimately we're trying to grow the podcast as much as we can. So send it to someone that you think would enjoy it, and that's my favor for the podcast. You got to make me happy. You gotta fucking
you gotta
do
3 good deeds. Okay, we walked your grandmother across the street this morning. We fed a couple homeless people, and we restricted all high school dances and middle school dances to be 6 foot apart while slow dancing. So you can thank us now.
But yeah, we're gonna get right into it, and I'm gonna fucking talk about something that I thought was, I don't want to piss anyone off, because I think it's dumb. But other people that I've seen, because I've been seeing posts about it since fucking, I think, Monday when it happened. Yeah, so on Monday, President Trump revealed that he has taken an unproven COVID-19 drug, which is it's a pill. It's a pill.
He personally has
it, yeah.
Okay.
And it's hydroxychloroquine, which, if you've been following fucking COVID-19, I think it was 2 months ago, hydroxychloroquine, whatever it was actually found to cure coronavirus, but it was also found in fish tank solution. So a couple had drinking that.
There was that old couple that died, or the old husband that died because they took it after hearing that it cured or prevented coronavirus.
Exactly. So apparently, they told the FDA stated that this drug can cause heart rhythm problems, and that's why they said that everyone shouldn't be taking it to cure the coronavirus. So he's been taking 1 pill a day for a week and a half, stating that he doesn't have any symptoms, obviously. Said he will stop when there's a cure or a vaccine, which he said to be very soon. That was my Donald Trump impression. But I kind of wanted to pick your brain, because my thing is that you, as the president of the United States, you got to lead by example. So is it helping or hindering the people that he's taking this unproven COVID-19 drug, and it's a drug that actually people need for...
Well, the fact that he's telling people is probably the dumbest thing he can do.
Exactly. If you're going to do it...
it's just all right, take it, because they're pushing you in that direction as president. Hey, by the way, we have very behind the scenes scientists that are saying this is something you should take, and it's kind of we're putting our word behind it. But to tell everyone a drug that doesn't really exist or is in high demand to anyone, hey, like you should take Clorox.
Yeah.
It's not, or a fish tank solution. Like it's kind of a fault in its own.
Yeah, I saw a post online that made me laugh because it was like, oh, blah, blah, what do you think about Donald Trump taking this drug? And they said he better be washing it down with bleach. And I was like, yo, fucking the clapback is real.
Clap, clap.
But yeah, it's hard because, like, as the president of the United States, like, obviously he's an older dude. He's like, I think he's mid to late 70s or something like that. I don't know.
I thought he was like 83. I think I just looked this up.
Is it? So he's an old dude. So he's like literally the demographic.
He's 80. I think Bernie's like 4 or 5 years older. And I don't know if it's 73 and 77 or 83 and 87, but something along those lines.
Exactly. So it's like he's the perfect demographic to be the one to be scared of having coronavirus. But every time I see like a news conference by him, he's not wearing a mask. Anyone near him is not wearing a mask. There's been members of Congress that have been up there with him that, I mean, they're at a safe distance away, but they've tested positive for coronavirus. So now you're going out and saying, hey, there's a drug that cures other things, but I'm taking it because I think it cures coronavirus, which is like, I can't tell if it's brave or naive and ignorant, and you're also putting people at harm's way that, you know, they're going to go and drink fucking fish tank solution, you know, because that's what happened.
Yeah,
they were
monkey
like,
see, monkey do.
Exactly. You got to lead by example. So, if you're going to take it, like, push it under the rug. Like, don't fucking tell anyone that you're taking it. You're just doing it because, like, there's these leading scientists that are doing it. But if the FDA hasn't approved it, you're not helping anyone by doing this.
Yeah, I think it's that falsehood that, like, he probably feels that by telling the people that there's an untested, like, corona prevention or corona vaccine that he's taking, that it's in the midst of happening, like a widespread vaccine. Yeah. But all he's doing is providing people with pushing that endeavor that, hey, like, by the way, we should, like, you know, like this we're already like few steps in, but people are taking it as, hey, like, we're gonna, you know, drink bleach.
No, absolutely, dude. Sorry, I was sharing it to my Facebook because I realized that I hadn't done it.
It's okay. Just ignore me and the people.
No, I'm not ignoring you. I would never ignore you. You know I love you. But yeah, it's that concept of monkey see, monkey do, and, like, I don't know. I think you're going into treacherous waters, especially with a drug that cures other things, and I saw it last minute, so I wasn't able to research it or write it down, but it's a drug that cures types of diseases that people need. So if you're saying on the market that, hey, this is what I'm doing, like you said, monkey see, monkey do, people are going to be going for that medicine. So is it going to be like low in supply, just like fucking toilet paper was at the beginning?
Yeah.
Is it like, are you taking away, is it to a certain point, are you taking away something that might be valuable to others besides yourself? So
I'm surprised we haven't heard anything about, like, a black market kind of developing because there's no known cure. Because there's black markets for all different kinds of drugs and prescription drugs.
Sure.
I'm surprised someone, I mean, not to, like, be the drug dealer, but I feel like like there's, like, a very profitable endeavor if you're just like, oh, this is like fucking, like, this prevents coronavirus, so you should take it. So then all of a sudden just make bank.
Yeah.
You're just selling meth to everyone.
Dude, I'm sure. I mean, I'm not well versed in the black market, but I wouldn't doubt if there's some sort of, like, underground process going on where people are selling drugs that, like, cure coronavirus, but I don't know. So we're said to have a vaccine in February. I don't know what's going to happen, but Donald Trump said that we're going to have the vaccine very soon.
The more I hear, so they projected the 12 to 18 months, and they say it's very aggressive. Granted, with it being aggressive, we are aggressive with it. You know what I mean? Like, everyone in the world that's their main goal right now, is to bring life back to normal. Yeah. It's so crazy that it takes a pandemic like this to make you see what you take for granted, like stupid shit like me and you just hanging out and doing the podcast together, or hanging out. Like, granted, like, the introverts of the world are celebrating because this is their lifestyle, but fuck, man, like, it sucks not going out to dinner, it sucks not going to the bar, it sucks. There's a lot of things that, like, you take for granted. Like, man, like, I just miss people because, like, you hang out with a lot of people outside of work because that's kind of your escape of, you know, you might have work friends, but it's not the same same mentality. It sucks not being able to even random people you bump into at a restaurant or bar, like, you serve a lot of people that you've become accustomed to being friendly with these people and they become regulars, and then those people just don't exist in your life anymore, and the only people that exist is your constants, which is, it's not a buzzkill, but it just like, it's nice to have plenty of people to kind of interact with.
I was actually thinking about that. Funny you mention it, because I was thinking about that today, because we have a Zoom conference, funny enough, that is from Applebee's, and it's going to happen tomorrow. So it's tomorrow at 1:30, and I was just thinking about it. I'm like, dude, I haven't seen my regulars in like 3 months. I haven't seen the people that come in and I shoot the shit with, and like, I have those people, but I also have friends, and I just to kind of talk about your introvert comment. It's funny because I view myself as very introverted. Like, I don't go out of my way to make plans. Like, it's usually my wife makes the plans, and then like I just tag along or whatever it is. But I'm having trouble. Like, I'm going a little bit stir crazy in the house, and I told Joanna, like, I had anxiety when I was working at Applebee's, seeing everyone in the gloves and the masks, and like when the pandemic first started, and now I'm like developing this small anxiety of just being inside, because it's literally what is it? The definition, I think I've mentioned this before, the definition of insanity is like doing things over and over and expecting different results. Like repeating. Yeah. And that's how I feel like my day-to-day, like literally day-to-day how it is, because I'm not fucking doing anything, dude. I literally wake up, I do the dishes, I do some chores, I do a little bit of reading, and then I wait for Joanna to come home. We'll cook dinner together, and then we hang out and watch like Riverdale, what we're doing right now. We're watching through season 4 of Riverdale because it just came out. And then she goes to bed, and I play video games and drink, and then I wake up and do the same thing over again, dude. I'm like, and it's been fucking months that I've been just doing this because I've just been unemployed and I'm bored. So like, you have your basement and stuff.
I'm going to say right now, the thing that's been driving me is just goals. And I think that might be something that you want to like invest in, is like doing something productive. Yeah. Whether it's like a passion project or something, because me working on the basement has prevented me from going stir crazy, because I have a goal and I'm working on different stuff, and then it's pushing. Not only is it using up the free time that normally would be a weekend or an evening, that would suck, like on normal stance, like normal situation, it sucks working on something, because you're like, fuck, I could be going out to the beach on a Saturday, Sunday. I could be going to the bar. I could be going on an adventure. I could go for a weekend trip. So it's like, now that I have all this free time, it's like, I have nothing to do but to work on stuff. And if it wasn't working on the basement, I'd be considering working on additional YouTube videos, or working on different redoing a different room or doing something else. So like, I think that's been the driving factor with me, because like you said, like there's only so much you can do where you have that rinse repeat for 7 days in a row. Especially, and I'm going stir crazy and I'm still working. Yeah. So like, I can only imagine you where like you're not working and then you're doing the same thing over and over.
Well, I literally had Joanna write me a list of things to do, because my passion project for this summer, and I don't know if I've talked to you about this or not. So I have a note file on my my phone that has a list of books that I want to read before I become a teacher. So that's like what I'm doing right now.
You've told me,
So like a few weeks ago, I read Lord of the Flies and Normal People, which is a Sally Rooney, who's a great author. And now I bought her second book, or her first book. Normal People was her second book, which is Conversations with Friends, which I'm going through right now. So like, I literally had Joanna write me a list of projects that she wants to get done. So like, I just washed all of the winter stuff and then vacuum sealed it. I cleaned out the junk drawer. I'm doing like little projects, and then I'm doing my reading along the side. So like, it's kind of keeping me all right. But like,
I think having a bigger endeavor is the big thing, because if you're just doing small chores like stuff that you can do in a couple hours, then you don't see the progress. I think true. As society, like, you want to see society build, and if you don't have a society to build upon, then you almost have to build a mini society that you're building upon. You know what I mean? Like, you almost have like say like you were redoing the whole backyard and you're raking all the leaves, and then you're building a fire pit, and then you're redoing this and redoing that and staining this and staining that. And all of a sudden you see the big finished project, then it gives you some satisfaction. While if you're like, oh well, like I'll just put dishes away, it's like, all right, well the only task that I have
the only tasks that I have are like small, minute tasks. So like I don't have anything for myself because like
that's what I mean. That's yeah. I'm not discrediting the small tasks. I'm just saying like it sucks not having like say like you were doing 100 dishes a day and then you got to see
Literally.
a whole storage of dishes that are done. Then you'd be like, wow, like I just got this whole warehouse done. But the fact that like you only have like you're just doing the same thing.
Literally,
and
it's
not
30-minute
showing.
tasks. It's 30-minute tasks over and over again. And then that's why I'm like, all right, Joanna, give me like something that's kind of different. So it's like, oh, you can vacuum seal the laundry. But like then again, it's literally just me putting away laundry inside of a bag and then vacuum sealing. So I'm like, fuck, man, I need something to do. And so recently this week I called and I was like, I want to refinance my house and stuff like that. So I'm taking care of that. I was supposed to get a phone call back today and I didn't. But it's the start of a fucking new me. All right, here's the fucking thing, dude. I'm going rant of the day already, interrupting any future topics. I haven't fucking been able to do anything for myself in the past, like since I met Joanna. And that's not a knock on Joanna whatsoever, dude. But literally, we were like, hey, let's save and buy a house. Oh, we gotta fucking redo the house. We redid the house. Oh, we're getting married now, so now we gotta save for a wedding. Oh, now I have credit card bills. So now that I'm refinancing, dude, I'm literally refinancing and getting rid of my credit card bills. Dude, I can fucking start doing stuff again. I'm so stoked to be able to do it. Because now I can take on passion projects.
Well, it became a thing where it's like, I can't go out because I have to save up for the wedding. Yeah. I still can't go out because I have to pay off the wedding that I just got debt for. And now, like, so yeah, I totally get that because
dude, the first
I feel the opposite of that right now. Well, or actually probably the same path, but different, like paths.
Sure.
Same end goal, but different paths because I see myself not going out at all. And then I have so much fucking money that I'm saving that I'm able to redo. I'm about to buy a new TV. I'm about to buy a new fridge with Catherine. Like I'm about to get stuff that normally like the $200 a weekend or $100 a weekend that you spend going out and hanging out with people. Yeah, it adds up. And I think a lot of people are starting to see the problems with going out every weekend.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. It's like it's fucking it's a double-edged sword because you're either not going out and you're saving money and you're like, oh my god, look at this, but then you're not living life. So it's like, well, obviously the coronavirus is making us not be able to live our lives. So we're like obviously in that end, but dude, I'm just so fucking stoked. First time in 5 years that I'm gonna be able to maybe I'll be able to redo my basement this summer, maybe, or take the steps to be able to do that. Dude, I'm stoked. I didn't mean to go on a rant, but like
it's funny. Oh. It's funny that you're excited about work, because I need to talk shit about Applebee's.
Oh wait,
let me know if I'm peaking at all.
No, you're not peaking. Let me know if I'm
peaking at all because I know like we like zoom through like testing and everything, but Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, that's one of my topics.
Are delivering under different names on Grubhub, baby. There's the Reddit user that texted the Grubhub driver asking if it's from Chuck E. Cheese because as they were eating this pizza, whether it was from the different sizes all clumped together into one pizza or the famous gross-ass cheese that they have, they said, this tastes familiar. And the address that I looked up for this pizza restaurant that I ordered from is oddly familiar and oddly the exact same one as Chuck E. Cheese.
And what's the name, dude? The name is the best.
Chuck E. Cheese is right now going under the name Pasquale's. Do you know why it's named Pasquale's? Because the chef character in the band, like the animatronic band.
It's the Munches Make Believe band.
Yeah, and it's so they made up a second restaurant so that because they know no one's gonna order Chuck E. Cheese pizza through Grubhub. I wouldn't, dude. There's no fucking way. But I would order from Pasquale's because it sounds like a little indie fucking Italian place that Daniel Pasquale started with his wife, and they fucking they have a wood oven brick fucking house stove ready fucking flipping it. It's been grown from their family for generations.
Oh yeah,
but it's not. It's Chuck E. Cheese.
That's so fucking disgusting.
The reason why I bring it to you, baby, is because Applebee's is doing the same thing.
Yes, dude, I saw that.
Applebee's is trying to reach and trying to be the next Buffalo Wild Wings, but they changed what they did is they changed your name to Neighborhood Wings. So if you're going through like Grubhub or Dine Dash or whatever the fuck it's called,
Dine Dash, bro.
you eat Neighborhood Wings, and it's the same address. It's Crystal Ave, baby. It is Applebee's. You are ordering wings from Applebee's. If you like it, then go to Applebee's. It's fine. So I just found it very funny that Applebee's is the way they sold it. The CEO came out and spoke out and said, "Hey, we are trying to get in the wing realm and try to sell wings, and we feel like a lot of people are enjoying." All the different kind of wings and sauces that we provide, that we're trying to do a subsidiary of Applebee's dedicated to bringing wings, which is odd because I feel like people would be interested in ordering just Applebee's through Grubhub. I would be like, oh, fuck it. Let's grab Applebee's. I don't know if it's because they have both Applebee's and Neighborhood Wings under the same app, so you can kind of pick, and it's just more like a facade, or you can only get wings and the whole Applebee's menu is not available, so they don't really have it via Grubhub. I don't know. I wouldn't
see them being able to strive with just doing Neighborhood Wings, although profit's profit, whatever you're gaining extra. But yeah, so apparently in the little icon, they got found out because in the little icon, it says Neighborhood Wings, and then it's wicked small font and says, buy Applebee's, which is so fucking funny because it's just order Applebee's. I know Applebee's, in terms of our store and our region, Applebee's is a thriving restaurant, and it's one of what you would call a chain restaurant. But I know
it is a chain restaurant. You wouldn't have to call it that. It is that.
That's what I'm saying. It's a chain restaurant. But no, I think in other parts of the country, the Applebee's is not doing so well because it is what it is. Applebee's food is Applebee's food. You know why I haven't gotten delivery through Applebee's? Because I work there and I don't like it. And if I eat there, it's usually during a shift. I'm gonna talk my shit about Applebee's.
But fucking cheaper. And employee discounted.
Oh my god, but yeah, I heard of Pasquale's. But what was it? Pasquale's Pizza and Wings, dude? Fucking gross, dude. Dude. Imagine getting a pizza, dude. And if I can, I don't know where I threw it. Wait, right here. So they, sorry, I had a little extra thing, but I already threw my card. So apparently Pasquale's, they said it's different than Chuck E. Cheese pizza because it has a thicker crust, it has extra sauce, new blends of cheese and seasoning, and it gives customers a more flavorful, more premium pizza experience.
You're going to tell me they don't have that pizza on the Chuck E. Cheese menu? Yeah.
Dude, bro, oh my god, that's so funny that you said.
And they even have they say a lot of the stores have separate windows just for Pasquale. So when you pull up, it's a Pasquale's window, but it's still at the same plaza as Chuck E. Cheese, just adjacent to it. So that way, when Grubhub comes to the door, it's it's not Chuck E. Cheese. So it's a lot of people. That's why it took so long for people to realize that the two were together. It was just because all the Grubhub drivers didn't have to physically go inside of the Chuck E. Cheese playground to go pick up the pizza. They could just pick it up from the side window that if you even went deeper into it, it was a Chuck E. Cheese. It was probably the janitor's closet of Chuck E. Cheese that they drilled a hole out of. And they're Pasquale's Pizza right here. There you go. But nah, dude, I don't know. I all right, you want to hear a conspiracy theory that I literally legitimately thought of as soon as I saw Pasquale's Pizza? Is you know how they had they reuse the pizza, that conspiracy theory? Yeah. Because of the sizes and stuff. I was literally thinking of they probably have... I literally said this on episode 2 of the podcast, I know, but I'm re-bringing it back for the audience that doesn't know. So basically there was a conspiracy theory because the slices are always different sizes and stuff when they bring it out. They said that they would reuse different pizzas, old pizzas, and then the untouched slices would put it on new. You would physically see... if you cut a pepperoni in half while you're slicing a pizza, there should be 2 halves of the pepperoni on each slice, and the other half would disappear, and then you'd see the crust not aligning, and then you're okay, this looks like multiple pieces squished together. Like it makes no sense. If you were to cut this, it should be pretty uniform.
Yeah, exactly. So the first thing I thought of when I saw Pasquale's Pizza is I wonder if they have a freezer full of like old ass pizza slices that they just re-throw back in the oven and just right in a box, dude. Pasquale's Pizza, like it's literally DiGiorno, but for like
crust.
greasy kids touching it.
Booger crust.
Booger stuffed crust. Booger stuffed. We got you booger stuffed Pasquale's Pizza. But yeah, that's fucking disgusting, and I'm pissed that you fucking
That's what we hear, baby. Fucking stop doing your stuff last minute, because that's what I'm doing too.
Did you see about Jason Derulo on TikTok? He blew up on TikTok.
Jason Derulo.
He blew up on TikTok and on Instagram, and I'm moderately pissed.
This is another conspiracy theory that I want to get into. Go ahead.
Okay. So Jason Derulo, R&B singer, whatever you want to call him, broke TikTok and Instagram by putting a corn on the cob on a drill and saying, "Oh, I've always wanted to try this." And fucking, the corn on the cob would turn and turn and turn really fast. And he put it up to his teeth, and apparently it broke his two front teeth in half or whatever. And it was like a perfect split down the fucking middle. And he literally, the caption on both the TikTok and the Instagram said, "Don't try this," with the emoji of like the surprise face. Like everything about it is so fucking fishy. But obviously, because people are super impressionable and most of TikTok's viewers are super young and they can't see behind movie magic, they believed it. So
that's been like this is like a 2-year-old trend.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
It's not even like a new thing. He's just resurfacing a fucking old trend. That you're gonna start to see that where like trends are just gonna resurface and then bring on the same outrage and same like that fucking trends did 2-3 years ago that were like stupid back then, and then now it's like, all right, let's do some Photoshop, let's do some movie magic, and then boom, bada bing. You didn't fuck up this time. You didn't shoot someone. I don't know if you heard this, the YouTube stars that they're like a couple on YouTube. I forget their names, but they shot through phone books to show that something where they shot through it to show that it wouldn't puncture it and like hit the person. So the person stood there with a phone book or 3-4 phone books in a row. And then they shot through it, and it punctured through and killed the guy, and she murdered her husband on fucking camera. Jesus. So like it was like shit like that, where like all these people were doing, because what happens is this crazy fucking going over the top, and it kind of flared up from Mr. Beast, but like it's a bunch of people just being idiots in general. Yeah, like was raising the bar from each other, and then murder just got to that point where, and then like doing physical bodily harm. So like the fact that Jason Derulo is doing this, let alone publishing it, that you could tell it's fishy when like you're gonna tell me your publicist isn't telling you, hey, you should probably not post this because you have plenty of impressionable fucking 12-year-olds that are rediscovering you on TikTok. Yep. You should probably not post this. This is bad PR. And then if you fake it, then technically you're not breaking any rules.
Dude, it's so fucking dumb, dude. And I literally I saw it and I said, haha, that's fake. And then I was like, but is it? And then I went to like the next video and
there's no blood, dude.
I know, but breaking your teeth doesn't mean that you're gonna have blood. When you break a tooth,
it's almost guaranteed you're gonna have blood.
If you break your tooth, all right.
That's true.
The tooth is this big.
Chip your tooth without it bleeding.
Exactly.
But it's like almost down to the wire the way he has it, and it's both teeth. You're gonna say it didn't pop in and bust his gums? I don't know,
maybe. But I was like, and dude, here's the thing: is that I'm fucking getting mad at impressionable fucking young viewers. But for me, I'm like wondering it myself. I'm like, is this fake? I should probably check this out. So I go on Jason Derulo's Instagram and his TikTok to figure out fucking shit to talk about. And then I see there's another video in front of it, and he's like showing, I don't know if it's his wife or no, it's like he's like, it's not that bad.
Flumes or whatever, yeah,
it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And he's holding his hand, and then he shows her, and she's like, that's not that bad. And then the next video after that, he's got fucking teeth again.
I know.
Jason Derulo. I don't know. Here's the thing about... man, I already did rant of the day, so I'm going to calm down when I talk about this. Is that when celebrities go onto platforms such as... I mean, Instagram's an older one, obviously. TikTok's for a younger audience. when you go onto TikTok and platforms like that, and then you have that shock culture, but it's always like a celebrity that goes on and he goes, hey guys, I'm on TikTok, follow my account. And then they do stupid shit like this, and it like ruins the platform because 90% of the fucking 2 million liked videos on TikTok are fake. And then you start questioning every TikTok besides like the comedy ones because, I mean, in my For You page, that's the realm I go down. And the TikToks that I make follow the realm of comedy. But the ones that are like, oh my God, and it's a girl drive, it doesn't even have to be celebrity. Like the highly liked videos that are like, oh my God, there's someone following me. And then it's like for part 2. And then you get to 1 million views and there's never a fucking part 2. Whatever, dude. I hate shock culture. I've always found it annoying. And I go back to this all the fucking time. It's not content. It's the same.
I like shock culture when it's real. I hate fake shock culture.
Yes. Okay. Shock. No, I don't even know because shock culture has like, it's such a big premise and such a big concept to talk about that like, I just fucking, I don't care if it's real or it's fake. I guess I do because I went on his fucking TikTok and looked it up. But like, I don't know, that shit pisses me off. But my favorite thing that was done because one of the top comments on his Instagram was from Ty Dolla $ign, and he wrote, oh shit, Jathan Derulo. Because he's missing his front teeth, and he's like, Jathan Derulo. Dude,
like Mike Tyson.
And I no joke, I was almost in tears. I was laughing so hard. Fucking Jathan Derulo. Oh, dude. But yes, and then someone on TikTok, have you ever seen where they like break something and then they like shove ramen into it and then super glue and then that furnishes?
Yeah, they fix it, yeah.
Someone literally said on one of his videos, man, he must have used some ramen to fix his front teeth.
Dude, I don't know how those fucking people, I get it. All it is, it's no...
You're going to have to repeat yourself. You went in and out.
You know, oh, I said I don't get it, but I get it because it's just a bunch of glue. That's all it is. All it is you're fucking, it would be like throwing fucking, instead of a hole, you throw dirt in a hole, you throw ramen in a hole. It's going to be the same thing if you fill it up enough and then you just fucking pat it down, it's done.
Exactly.
But like those have always fascinated me because I would love to just be like, look at this arm of this chair has a wrench in it and a quarter behind it.
Dude, I know. You always see those, man. I saw one that had a garden hose cut out of it, and then they put, like, the end of the garden hose back in and then filled it with ramen. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're going to need that. like the sprayer. And it was like a pool table that they cut out a garden hose and then put it back in. And I'm like, what the fuck is the point? I don't know, dude. That shit, it's funny though.
And it's like, did you cut the hole in there so that way you could do this video?
It was the perfect shape of a garden hose. The exact shape, like the little tail end and the spigot, and then the
that means
the
they intentionally cut it to be an asshole.
Dude, I don't know what the fuck the purpose is.
Dude, I can't wait till they play fucking pool and they...
There was one where they used, it was a pool table, and then they used the 8-ball to fill in the hole. What are you gonna do when you go play pool? You're missing the 8-ball. That's the premise of the game. You could be missing like, oh yeah, we're missing a stripe here. Oh, well, just take one of the solids out and then you'll be good. No, you use the main ball. Dude, it frustrates me, man. I don't know why.
You can't play any game.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, that's my fucking 17th rant in the first 35 minutes of the live podcast.
So I know one thing that me and Brennan talked about with these guest episodes is we had a lot of seconds. No, we had very long episodes. Mm-hmm. So I think one thing we're going to do for this episode is kind of condense it back to that hour-and-a-half format, bring it back home. And I don't know if you agree, but I think we should take a quick break. And if you guys are tuning in right now, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. It definitely helps the channel. I mean, we reiterate it every fucking break and every single intro. And, you know, I don't know. Do whatever you have to do. You sign us off. I gotta fucking. I'm like, so right now, like, I don't know what it is. I feel like dazed. I need a second drink because I'm like, I need to get myself back amped into it because I'm ready to talk some shit about what the fuck the U.S. government is doing right now.
Word. All right, guys. So I'm gonna post up a 3-minute break. And then we'll be right back. All right.
Banana. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Back, baby. What's going on?
Neighborhood.
Sorry, it was a little bit of an extended break. I had to pee really bad.
How was it an extended break?
Was it? I don't know. We were on the Be Right Back stream for longer than 3 minutes.
It just felt like 3 minutes.
All right.
You know how I can tell when things are 3 minutes? When I have barely enough time to make a new drink and go to the bathroom in one 3-minute session.
I was literally draining the main vein.
You know what's funny? The main vein, baby.
What's funny, Justin?
I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore. One thing I wanted to talk into. I'm just gonna jump right into it, baby.
Sure.
We talked about this before. We got the Space Force whipping through, and Donald Trump released a Space Force flag, which just looks like the NASA flag, I guess. Like, it literally looks like an arrow with the world behind it on a grid, with a fucking shooting star shooting around it with stars glimmering around it. And it's just like an oddball fucking thing. It looks like if you gave a third grader, hey, can you design a flag for us? And then they just copied NASA and then just said, here's Space Force. But the better thing than a third grader designing the logo is when an adult who speaks like a third grader explains what the Space Force is doing right now. And what the Space Force and our government is doing, according to Donald Trump, is we are making super duper missiles. That is, quote unquote, super duper missiles is what we're working on right now. Better known by the scientific community as hypersonic missiles, but that doesn't sell headlines. So, hypersonic missiles go speeds of 1 mile per second, and they maneuver in a way that cannot be detected and destroyed. So we, as the U.S. government, are investing billions of dollars per year,
billions and billions,
into billions and billions into developing these super duper missiles. The reason why we're pushing this endeavor is because China and Russia are ahead of us in this race. They're fucking cruising on putting things, because what happened is, for instance, China is ahead because we published a bunch of scientific endeavors and information that we researched on building hypersonic missiles. Mm-hmm. And what they did is we took our foot off the gas. They took our research and fucking ran with it.
No way.
So China right now is pushing fucking missiles that are beyond our capacity. Mm-hmm. And then, so one thing, I think current missiles, I believe, can go Mach 5, which is 5 times the speed of sound. And obviously I'm kind of going bullshit right now, because I have the facts written down, but I might be mixing up numbers. But the hypersonic missiles go 17 times faster than a missile,
Jesus.
Than a regular. So Russia already has some. And in December, they released that they have the Avant-Garde Hypersonic Glide Vehicle, quote unquote, their name for it, mm-hmm. which can go Mach 27, which is 27 times faster than the speed of sound, which just shows you how fucking beyond the United States that Russia is out of all fucking people. Yeah. You don't hear about Russia. Russia kind of hyperglides under the fucking radar, dude. And it's just so weird because the people, the first thing that scientific studies and general public discuss is with these hypersonic missiles, why are we even investing in it? Because there's warfare that's it's almost like a outdated warfare at this point.
Okay.
So it's more like a countermeasure against China, Russia to say, hey, we have it too, so don't fuck with us. So, let's fuck with other countries. That probably what it is, hey, by the way, we, all three of us, by the way, all have the same rocket launcher.
Our dicks are about the same size.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. And while you're thinking about it, Germany's dick is a couple inches shorter. So just we could be friends, but not a real friend. I don't want to fuck with your rocket launcher or your penis. So, but a lot of people are saying we should be looking into preventative measures and like investing billions in dollars like into preventing a catastrophe or like having a defense system against it.
Yeah.
But it seems like most people, instead of fighting fire with water, you fight fire with fire. And I don't know. I'm personally, like, just because I'm a big technology person, I almost am more leaning on things like the pandemic and being the next advance like warfare. Like, it's either going to be something that wipes out nations because of chemical imbalances and like viruses and everything, or it's going to be more artificial intelligence and technology based, where, like, I mean, think about wiping out a single home out of their fucking internet. And then, like, let alone, like, you know, like when a town goes out like of electricity or internet, they're fucking shit out of luck, and we're so dependent on it that we wouldn't know how to survive otherwise. Or we would have much trouble without, you know, gasoline like being cut out and like everything. So it's like those are, I feel like, would be more the plan of action, because without internet or electricity or whatever, you're almost powerless. But I don't know. I figured, like, if you had all the money in the world, what do you think you would invest your money in to have the upper hand if you were to be in, I guess, the warfare mentality? Like, what is the first thing you attack in a country that's as successful as the United States or China or Russia?
See, the weird thing is that, like, when I think of like advanced warfare and stuff like that, I think of, and I mean, it's been around for so long, like the idea of nukes being able to like blow up an entire country. So like, why do you need these hypersonic missiles if you already have like that, like your big dick out saying, hey, I have a fucking nuke. You know what I mean? I can wipe out an entire country if I wanted to. I'm not going to, but I have the measures to do so.
I got the chode. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you already have, like, what's the point of making supersonic missiles? I don't know. I guess, and this is me coming from someone that has mentality of like a zero war background.
I think with nukes is multiple people have nukes, and people have multiple ways of disarming nukes, I believe.
Okay.
So I think with this thing, it's more that can do destruction without really being detected or destroyed. So it's like a nuke, you're kind of well aware of it, and and then it will cause, like, I think what happens with nukes is it's almost very hard to leave a concentrated attack, while a kind of hypersonic missile could go directly for like a town or like or the White House, or, you know, like something monumental. Correct. As opposed to nuking an entire city to devastation.
Yeah, exactly. I get it. Like, you have to revamp things in order to show that you're the top dog. But I think, like, you bring a smart idea. Like, if you took technology out, what do you have? Like, if you find like something, I don't know what it is. This is like fucking Cyberpunk 2020 shit. Like, I don't even know, dude. Like, if you take technology out of the equation and you find, say, a virus that could take out the internet or like those preventative measures that we have, then like ultimately you're going to be able to win a war. But I don't think I have the correct educational basis to be able to answer that question. But
well, that's the point of this question. Is there's many people that don't. You could ask anyone on the street what you would attack, because you could take the route where it's like, well, the one thing I would want to invest in, which is what Russia did, is invest in social media and twisting the media to turn people on their own government, and then push like different demeanors without the people knowing. They just think the outrage culture is like they're driven a certain way, or they're driven away from different things. So it's a very psychological warfare. Or you could go directly into genetics or disorders or nukes or technology. But I figured I'd poke your brain is what you think is probably the most driving force to take apart a country.
Now that you bring it up, I think psychological warfare, because if you're killing someone, you kill them. You know what I mean? And then it's done. But when you're like psychologically torturing people, I think that's the worst thing. Like, the worst thing in the world is probably to be psychologically tortured. And, like, knowing that, like, oh, I could take them out of the equation, but then that's it. Everyone's going to fucking hate me. Like, you send a nuke over to a fucking country, like, everyone, like, that's such fucking bad PR for you. But in terms of, like, psychological, I don't know. That's interesting that you bring that up. I don't know, dude. You know what's funny? I'm gonna tell you.
Because you can twist people to build your emperor up. You know what I mean? It's like you go
well,
back
look at
to
fucking Germany Nazi.
Like or like Egyptians and everything. Like that's how they progress so much with building these fucking giant pyramids, is because they got everyone on board to do the same fucking thing. So if you control a country on the outsides without them even fucking knowing it, because you're putting bugs in their fucking ears, where it's like you're fucking with them thinking they're doing the right thing, but they're doing the wrong thing, and almost dismantling the country from within. It's kind of like it's a beautiful implosion, like
as beautiful as
directly,
as beautiful as it can get in terms of psychological torture for millions of people.
Well, it's not even psychological torture. It's redirecting people's mentalities. And I think you take it like a movie like Inception. Okay, Inception is probably the best way to describe what I'm kind of thinking.
Sure,
is you're giving them the idea to think on their own. So you're telling them, hey, it would be a good idea if we fucking built a wall. You know what I mean? And then all for just a relatable fucking topic. So make them think of the idea and get excited about the idea, and then get excited to tell people about the idea. And then they are almost brainwashed. Hey, like I have this brilliant idea, but it's really that idea was implanted in your head from another source.
Yeah.
And then you're excited because you came up with it, because it's nothing like it's like when you, I've said it before, when you retell a story, you're more excited to tell the story and embellish the other parts. But it's even worse when you have a fucking idea that you feel no one's had before. I mean, look at us. Sometimes when we explain the podcast to people, we're explaining like an idea that's probably already been done, but because it's been put into our head, we're excited about it. So it's like is that the smartest, most strategic way to take out a country?
Dude, it's weird to fucking think about, because as you're saying it, what I'm thinking about is that the idea of free thought is almost like stripped away, and you almost have to like have the vocabulary of your own to be able to explain it to people in a way that it's new and intuitive. So like nothing's actually original, which is a weird fucking thought in general. But you to go back to the beginning of the question, you know what's funny? I said I didn't have anything in mind, and I do have something in mind, but it's so outlandish that like I didn't want to say it, but I'm just gonna say it because I don't fucking care. Is that
who cares, dude? I literally took Inception to explain my fucking thing.
I was thinking of like, imagine having like a sonar weapon that would take out people's hearing. Like literally,
that would fuck with people.
Like literally plant something within a country that was a high frequency noise that just like made people deaf. And then like you're wiping out like one of their main fucking senses. I don't know. That's
what I mean. There's so many like and then it's like, okay, is sound that strong of a sense to completely debilitate a country, or is there ways to overcome it? And it comes with almost any warfare. It's like, well, if you have a nuke, they might have a way to disarm a nuke. If they have this, then they have this. Like, so it's very tough. And I figured I'd just pose a question, because it's interesting to think what would be the most debilitating thing to do to a country. But the reason why I think of the whole Inception planting an idea, it's like you almost need to debilitate. I know I'm saying the word wrong, but
I think it's debilitate, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
fuck it. Least informative podcast.
Are you not only are you destroying the infrastructure of a society, but you're using their all foundation already, because you could blow up every fucking nation in the world and you're not really going to progress, because your country can only do so much. You almost need to diversify what you can build, because you don't know everything and your country doesn't know everything. So the thing that's smarter than nuking every single country in to smithereens is, and plus that would destroy like the plant life, the animal life, everything. So it's not really a smart idea. Is to make them make your nation stronger or you take peace. Peace is probably a strong way too. So, but it's like it's like give them an idea to build what you need to become stronger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without them knowing that they're doing it for you.
I think probably the most successful one, I know I already said it, but like going back is like Nazi Germany in terms of successful as in like fucking up countries around you. Yeah. Or even like North Korea to South Korea, and they had to like make a border just to like gain their independence because like it was such a fucking bad place to live and you were psychologically and physically tortured. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, dude. That's fucking weird. But super duper, what was it? Can you say it again? Was it a super duper
super
rocket?
duper missiles, dude?
Super duper missiles. Fuck,
missiles.
Man. All right, I'm going to lead us out of this, and I'm going to go into something that's also government related, and I've seen, it's funny because I had this topic for last week, and it's almost better that I have it for this week because it's about the stimulus check, the second one that's possibly about to be...
Act.
Yeah, possibly about to be passed by the Senate, and it just got passed by the House. So if you don't know, apparently it's in the works. So House Speaker Nancy Pelosi unveiled a more than $3 trillion coronavirus package on Tuesday, which would have been last Tuesday, which will include hazard pay for essential workers and a new round of payments to individuals. They said it could be as soon as Friday, which it did pass. Was it over the weekend? I think the House passed it.
It just passed over the weekend. They actually just changed it so we won't be able to get an answer from how the Senate responds to it until after Memorial Day.
Okay, which is this upcoming Monday. Is that correct?
So, correct.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, some quotes from Nancy Pelosi, which I know Nancy Pelosi is a super controversial person, which is the
Didn't she just call Trump obese, dude? Morbidly obese, dude?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. I mean, she ripped up the fucking, I don't even know what the fuck kind of document it was, but she ripped it up at the, Donald Trump, why can't I think of the fucking word? When they try to fucking impeachment. Thank you. Yeah. But I pulled some quotes that I really liked, and she said, "We must think big for the people now, and not acting is the most expensive course," which I thought was kind of enlightening. Like, not acting is going to be more expensive than us putting out a second round of stimulus for America, which, again, Nancy Pelosi... Not that I agree with 100% of her views or that I view her viable in the government whatsoever, but the fact that she wants to basically foreshadow a better future for the country and that she's thinking about that, and especially essential workers. I can't believe that I take home a bigger check than Joanna does by being unemployed. It's absolutely ridiculous. We should be fucking like, oh, dude. And I know we had like Nurses Appreciation Day.
Well, they were saying, and I'm just kind of reading up on it now because it's been popping up more and more as they do research on the, because that's what happens. It's funny about this podcast because I feel like I'm more informed about a bunch of shit. Yeah. Because we just regularly do research while normally I would just scroll through stuff and not really read too deep into it until someone tells me and I go, that sounds bogus. Let me double check your facts. Yeah. But they were saying that the extra money, the $600 a week, is actually like a loan from the government. So like even though you're making more money, technically it's going to be pulled out of like whether it's your tax return or taxes or something like that. So
which I mean but here's the thing, you can't not take it. I'm sorry, but I need to live. So like, and I can't say no to the extra $600. So if I'm taking a loan from the government in terms of the pandemic and it's helping everyone, I think it's safe to say that it's okay. But especially like a second stimulus package, and this is what I was going to get into, is that like Nurses Appreciation Day just passed, but like fucking shout out to the essential workers because our lives would be so difficult. And this is why I have a hard time going out and seeing people get so frustrated with like essential workers at grocery stores and hospitals and stuff like that. Like these people still need to fucking put their ass on the line. Whether what strand of COVID they may fucking get, they need to put their ass on the line, and they're working hard. So like, dude, I don't even care if you don't send me the $1,200 or whatever it's proposed to be. Give money to the essential workers.
Help these people out,
Exactly, dude. So like, I don't know what the stimulus bill entails because they got a draft of the stimulus but nothing's set in stone. Obviously, like if the Senate says, well, you need to tweak this before we pass it or whatever it is. But the idea of hazard pay, I thought was fucking brilliant. Like, we need to fucking give back to the people, because yeah, it helps when we're saying, hey, you can have a 10% discount if you're an essential worker. Oh, we're going to give free meals and stuff. Yeah, it helps out. But like, people that are unemployed are making more. I'm making more than my wife, and she's fucking dealing with things.
Like, I don't want to I don't want to show my fucking Republican side, but like, it's like there was enough people like bullshitting their way through the system of being unemployed and having a minor injury that they stretch out for 2 years, or they're not working because of a back injury that really doesn't exist because they're still fucking lifting at the gym. Like, there's plenty of those. So it's like, so there's a lot of people, you know, like it's just interesting that right now the unemployment's higher, and I can see the people that are working. And like me, like I'm like, you know, like we need to get the country off the fucking ground. Like that's the biggest concern of mine. I don't care how it gets done; it needs to get done. But I'm working. And there's a lot of people working, and there's the essential workers are working, and it's like I can understand their frustration, but in the same hand, I'm hoping. Granted, I mean, Amazon's just getting richer. I mean, Jeff Bezos is about to be the first fucking trillionaire. And it's like, it's you're putting money back into, because I know some people were talking about it. I forget who I was talking to, but they're like, you know, I don't get why the money's even going out to people. Like, it doesn't make sense to just give people money. And I'm like, well, not only does it make up for their bills, but it stimulates the economy. You're rotating the money back in.
Exactly.
But on that same endeavor, a lot of the spending that's happening is going into the richest people's hands. So it's like people are so stressed to go into a mom and pop shop to fucking go pick up something, you know, to stimulate the economy with, that the $1,200 probably went to the Amazons of the world because they're the only ones rich enough to provide services to deliver to everyone. So it's like you're almost not stimulating the right thing. And I don't want to now show my Democrat side, but like, I think one of the things I enjoyed hearing Andrew Yang preach about was he pushed the endeavor of an Amazon tax, or a tax to the companies that pay fucking $0 in fucking taxes every year. And it's like, that money should be coming back to us. Like that's where the stimulation should be happening. It shouldn't be happening like, you know, the reverse way. So like, because I mean, a lot of people that have that spent the $1,200, how many of you bought stuff from Amazon? You know, like I mean, granted, a lot of it was products I needed in the house and I couldn't regularly access, but that's the point. That's the fucking point. That's why Amazon exists, because it makes more fucking sense to have something delivered to me in 2 days than to go in a store, especially for the introverts of the world. You know what's funny? This is okay. Let me blow your fucking mind. Amazon fucking is huge because of the introverts of the world, that and that includes me. I don't even want to fucking make a phone call to Best Buy to double check if a fucking product is in stock, because and I find it much easier to fucking order on Amazon, because I don't want to deal with people or deal with society or walk in and run into someone I know or make a phone call or whatever. I'd rather order on Amazon, do my research my own, because at the same fashion, if I go to Best Buy and I'm looking for a TV, I don't want to be hassled by the fucking salesman that's just trying to make commission off of
trying
you.
to put money in their pocket.
Fucking do my own fact check myself, and your stuff isn't fact checked. You're just fucking bullshitting me, because I trust me, I used to work in sales. I know what it's like to sell a fucking bum ass firework that you're gonna spend $60 on anyways. So like I know what the fuck you're doing at Best Buy. So what am I gonna do as an introvert in life? I'm gonna buy it at Amazon. But you know what? We're all right now in this fucking coronavirus. We're all introverts right now. We are coexisting as introverts. And what do introverts do? They shop online and they order online and deliver online. And now we're making those fucking people richer. It's I'm sorry. I just had to get into it. It just blew my mind as I was talking about it out loud.
No, it's literally that. Like no single individual should be the first fucking trillionaire. You know what I mean? Just in general. But you make a good point. Like us as introverts, and then now being forced to be an introvert. And on top of it, the idea that you don't want to go out during coronavirus season because you don't want to fucking get the disease. So it's like, I can literally click a button and get it for retail price. possibly cheaper because I don't have someone trying to fucking
Possibly
upsell me.
faster?
Possibly faster. And then they're going to take care of it and deliver it right to my doorstep? Sure. But in the result, we're making those people richer. We're making them richer by being stuck inside. So it's like, dude, those conspiracy theorists that say like, oh yeah, fucking coronavirus was planted by, X, Y, and Z, like, you can kind of make a point in terms of, what they're doing. But whether that's the case or not.
Before it was known as lazy. Mm-hmm. It's funny, things that were known before as lazy is now being known as convenient.
Correct. And it's absolutely crazy. And I always go back. No, I'm not even gonna, fuck it. I always go back to the fact that, like, you can buy a fucking 99-cent fucking 2-gallon Pepsi at the back, but if you go up to the refrigerator, it's a $1.99 little fucking Pepsi, that's a 16-ounce.
Like,
it's
fuck
like,
it, I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck it. Like, might as well do it because it's more convenient, but then you might be spending more money on top of it. I know it's like a loose, but, like, I always think of that in terms of, like, how people profit off of, inconvenience. Yeah, or convenience or inconvenience. Exactly.
Yeah. I think people, you're absolutely right. People profit off of inconvenience more than convenience because it's people don't want to fucking go through the headache of a lot of things.
Dude, and I would be curious to see in other parts of not the country but the world to see how they work. And like, I would love to see like stocks in other fucking countries that are flourishing. Like, is it all fucking the Amazons of the world and the fucking this, that of the world that are profiting? I'm curious how it would be, because it's like, it's that fact that you can't be able to digest all this information because there's too much information to digest, and you can't, go into that side. But I would love to see that. I know we just went like way fucking far into that. That's fucking dope.
No. That's the fucking point, dude. I'm actually enjoying this episode. I was nervous about going back to the solo, but I feel like we're like diving deeper into like topics, that just like the psychology of it. And one thing I want to kind of shift into, it's so funny. This whole episode is gonna be psychology based for the most part. So one thing that was brought to my attention, and I found it just interesting, just because I have a little backstory or a family story that's associated with it.
Okay.
Called the shopping cart theory. I don't know if you read this. It kind of circulated through Facebook recently, but it drew my attention. It looked like a Reddit post or a 4chan post or something like that, but it's the ultimate test on whether a person is capable of self-governing, okay? Mm-hmm. So it's the shopping cart theory. So there's when you use a shopping cart in a store, you bring it out to your car, you take the stuff out of the shopping cart into your car, and then now you have the choice to either bring the shopping cart back or you don't. So it's an easy, convenient task. It's objectively right to return the cart, and then there's also no situation other than dire emergency to not bring it back. But there's no punishment for not returning it. So you gain nothing by returning it, just goodness of own heart, and it's the right thing to do. And it's like, if you're unable to do this, you're almost no better than an animal, because like you can't even fucking do one simple like task. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do one simple good to society. It's like throwing away a trash wrapper. Like, you can't even throw that out. You have to throw it on the ground because it's more convenient to you, and there's no fucking reason why you can't carry it an extra 20 seconds to go return and throw it out.
Not to interrupt you, but look at the fucking people that are leaving gloves and masks everywhere. Like, it's a new social norm, and they're not able to take that extra step to be able to do it. But go ahead.
And the thing is, the reason why it would make it so you're no better than an animal is because it would prove that you will only do good if threatened or restricted by law or force. So like, there's certain things that we can't do, like steal, because of law. You know what I mean? There's certain things we can't do because of certain forces. So that has no law bind to it, because if there was a law to return your shopping carts, people would be regularly doing it.
Sure.
So it's like this is almost the perfect way to explain that the shopping cart can kind of determine if a person is a good or bad person in society. Not good or bad more moral wise, but or morale wise, it's good or bad as a society because you are it's just it tests if you're self-governing. It tests if you have, like if you can be good for society. And I think one story, and I know it's brought up in the comments,
I
but
saw that too.
I had added it to my topic. So one funny story about my grandmother, and I'm sure you fucking remember the story because it was such an outlandish story that like if we will remember it forever. Is so we were at a Burning Phil's or Jordan's or some sort of furniture store. I believe so. I feel like we were in Nashville.
I thought it was like a Costco or something, like a wholesale. But I don't want to step on feet. I thought it was like a Costco.
That's fine. I know it was in Nashville, and I know it was in conjunction with going to the furniture stores because I know that was one of our main goals.
Yeah.
So there was this. I believe it was a mother and child.
Yeah, it was an Asian American.
I believe she was Asian American because that's what made the story funnier to us. Yes. And I'll explain why without it being racist.
Costco.
So we were at Costco. Good call. So
sorry.
So our grandmother. So one thing that you'll notice, like if you ever travel to Canada, is the shopping areas that do have shopping carts aren't as littered with shopping carts as it would be in America. And I don't know if it's just because Americans are genuinely and stereotypically lazy and they won't shopping cart. But I feel like I've gone to Canada numerous times. I've lived there for a third of my life. And one thing you do see difference is the choice not to bring a shopping cart because you know that someone's doing it anyways. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you're like, what's the point of me returning it if someone's gonna fucking take care of it for me?
Yeah, that's their job. That's what they're there.
It's like a butler. Why the fuck are you gonna clean your house if you got someone behind you that's about to clean your house? Like, there's no fucking reason. But obviously there is. So it's like, so my grandmother sees this Asian American mother and her child get into the car, leave the cart. And she was rip shit. And she fucking bangs on the window. And I'll say it in French and I'll translate it for you because most of our listeners are not French. And she goes, Pala la, Pala la.
She knocked on the window too. She knocked on the window. She goes, Pala la, mete la, Pala. Dude, fucking.
So the funny thing is the Asian American mother barely spoke a lick of English. Granted,
let alone
my grandmother's not speaking English. She's speaking straight up French. And what she's saying is, not there. So what she was doing was banging on the window, pointing at the shopping cart a couple feet away from this minivan, pointing at the shopping cart fucking like where you drop off your shopping cart drop off point. Yeah. And she was yelling at her in French while she didn't even speak English. She said, no, speak English. And she fucking was bitching at her for not bringing back her cart. And it brings it all back to that. I feel like the shopping cart theory is a good way, honestly, just from a psychology standpoint, to judge if someone is self-governing and if someone is good or bad in society, because it's hard to say, because there's people that over embellish they're good for society, or not over embellish, but they go over and beyond the societal norm for doing stuff for society. Well, they'll donate their time
without being praised for it, without wanting to thank you or anything. Just doing
they'll
it
go
just
to a
do
food
it.
bank and donate their time or donate their food or whatever. And then it's like, what about for the me and yous of the world? And I don't want to bring you into the me of the world, but it's like, I feel like I don't really do anything for society, but I don't do anything bad at the same. I don't litter, I don't pollute, I don't. I try to like pick up after myself. So like I'm self-sustaining, and I almost don't exist. Where it's like I'm not doing any bad, but I'm not doing any good, and it's like
you're like a chaotic neutral.
or just a neutral. You know what I mean? So it's I think it's that whole mentality of like I'm almost self-governed because I don't need law enforcement or force to tell me what to do, what's good for society. I just by my mere morale or morals in general push me in that direction just because I feel like this is the right direction. And even if it's something slighted to the bad, I think it's for the good, better good, I guess.
I wanna take, because I really like the idea of the shopping cart. I want to take it at a more philosophical standpoint and ask you, because I'm like thinking while you're talking. I've already like got an idea for this.
Just I know, and you know, but you're a return your shopping cart guy, right?
Yes, absolutely. Every time. I will
like
never leave
you if it's not returned.
Oh yeah, even if I see a shopping cart sometimes that's like not in there, I will push it there. If I'm close enough, might as fucking well. So I've always been that kind of guy. But do you think that people would, and this is aside the shopping cart, this is like a self-governing question. Do you think people would have that ability to be self-governed if there weren't rules in place?
No.
Okay. Because I'm thinking back to as long as my history provides, not dinosaurs, but in terms of a religious aspect, going into the Bible, even the Bible had the 10 Commandments, and the 10 Commandments were in place so that people had a frame of reference to say, okay, this is bad, this is good.
The 10 Commandments then was no different than the amendments now. You know what I mean? Like it's no different. It was, I'm sure we view it as a guidelines, but I'm sure it was kind of a little bit enforced just because you think about how powerful the Bible is now. Imagine 2,000 years ago.
Exactly. So that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I wonder if there would be people that could, well, there's obviously people that could probably self-govern without rules, but it's probably like the 1%. Not saying the 1% as in the income-based 1% that we know now, or milk, but no, but fucking what was I gonna say? I don't think people would be able to do it, and that's why like there's ideas like the purge and things like that. Because without a government, like, there would be no one. If you were given the
opportunity to just build an anarchy, the anarchy is viewed as chaotic because it would be chaotic. I mean, I'm sure there's a multitude of experiments that show like if someone was given the opportunity to be as chaotic as possible or as neutral as possible, they would sway more chaotic because they've been restricted by the rules. But then it drives back
the Stanford
to your question that if there was never rules, would it sway that way? But I feel like by enforcing rules, it pushes people in a direction, because if they're chaotic, then they don't know where to put their energy into.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like all this energy that's just it's I mean, you want to bring it back to the beginning. So the reason why you are doing all these miscellaneous chaotic chores is because you have all this energy that you have nothing to drive yourself to do it with. So if you're able to push society forward with your occupation or your career or a certain goal or like aspiration, that's where your energy kind of goes into. While if you have no kind of enforcement or restrictions to push you in that direction, and I'm not saying the direction is correct, like 100% correct. I'm just saying there is a direction which so if you got to think right now, I'm picturing it in a math sense. So if you're in a center and you're chaotic, you're going to move only inches in every single direction. You know what I mean? You picture a 360 circle around you. You're only going to go a couple inches, and it's going to kind of look like an oval to a degree, depending on ways you like. But if you're pushed in a vector, all these inches, like where it's like 2 inches here, 2 inches here, 2 inches there, 2 inches there, and then you add up all that, and you're almost guidelined into a streamline angle, you're going to go 20 inches in this direction, rather than diverting your energy everywhere. So it's almost like the eggs in a basket type of thing. It's like don't put all your eggs in a basket, but the reverse, I guess, of it. Where it's like if you put your eggs in every little basket, you don't really get anywhere. But if you put 20 eggs in one basket, it's a much more plentiful.
Dude, it's so fucked up that you think about. Dude, all right, this is just a side. Like this has ended. This conversation has ended. This topic has ended, and I'm just gonna say it's so funny that the first thing I thought of was a book and it's The Road by Cormac McCarthy, which I had talked about at when we first started the podcast. And what you're thinking about it is in a math sense. So I literally went right towards literature, and you went right towards math, which is just so fucking funny, like the spectrum of us, and we're still able...
That's how we've always been. I always feel that, like, we're opposites of, like, of the brain or whatever, where it's like one is very analytical with math and statistics, and one's very creative with literature and everything. So it's like, it would make sense that I'm thinking about it like mathematical and statistical and everything, and you're going like, oh well, this is a perfect literature analogy for what I'm thinking about, or I don't even know the reference that you were talking about.
Yeah, it was back in the day. It was like a post-apocalyptic world that people were like chaotic, and it was a family trying to stay under the radar and do as much good as they could. So it was just going through. I think that's what we talked about when we said like we ran a clip called like a post-apocalyptic world, like what would you do and stuff like that. So it's just funny that we went in total fucking opposites way, but we have the same idea. We meet. But you know what we don't have the same idea towards, or at least we don't know anything about? Sports. So the MLB, NBA, NHL, MLS, which for those of you that don't know is basketball, football, hockey, baseball, not soccer. I don't know why soccer is not included, but it's not included.
I thought you said MLS. Isn't that Major League Soccer?
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, sure. You know what? Fuck it. Major League Soccer. Soccer is in there. Yeah, let's throw it in. Should be reopening by projected to be this summer. Obviously, there's been some controversy about guidelines that are being sorted out. For example, what are you going to do for showers? Do you have to shower right off the bat? Do you have to shower when you get transported back so there's less exposure? No face touching during games, obviously. Switching out balls every so often, obviously, or sanitizing the balls, bringing them back into the game.
Which is almost normal at this point anyways.
Exactly. But one in particular that's controversial
and this all doesn't include football, correct? So football is a later season anyway, so they're projecting that the sports that are ongoing seasons right now or would be ongoing throughout the summer is starting later.
Correct. Which is funny because football is the one that's not mentioned at the beginning, which that's what the one I forgot, because football starts obviously later in the year. But the most controversial thing is the fans. What do we do? So doctors recommend that there should be no fans in any sport until 2021 or a vaccine is founded, which obviously we know is projected to be in February.
That's so crazy.
Exactly. So in South Korea and Taiwan and Japan and places like that, they have people that are already going to like sports events and stuff. Or sorry, they don't have people. They are doing different, like taking different measures for sports. So they have fake noise going on. They have cardboard cutouts. But weirdest that I saw today was robots and sex dolls positioned in seats.
Oh, yeah, dude. They just got in so much heat about that.
Yeah, exactly.
They got in so much shit for putting sex robots in the fucking stands, dude.
Yeah, they had literally sex robots, like no joke, fucking sex dolls sitting there with signs and stuff like that, dead as fuck, while there's fake noise coming out. But one thing in particular that interested me, and I know it would interest you, is the idea of, and this was early on when they were talking about sports. I didn't see this lately, or I haven't seen it lately, but selling tickets to people and positioning cameras on seats and having a VR headset after you buy tickets.
That's interesting. Yeah. Because you're going to get scalpers fucking streaming the almost like the video to other people. Because the first thing you're going to see people do is buy those tickets, then film it on Facebook or film it on like a Twitch-based thing where you can only watch with a subscription or whatever.
Exactly. So I was curious what you think is funny about this, what's relevant, what could possibly work. And also, like, I just thought the VR thing was so interesting because if, again, no one's going to follow the rules, but if everyone followed the rules, you would buy your tickets and literally be able to sit down, with a spouse or a friend or whatever it was. And you could drink at home and get fucked up, but you have the VR headset to be able to put on and be at the game.
Well, I think the smartest thing to do, and I don't know if they're going to do this, but Okay, so you take these big brands like ESPN and stuff like that, and they have ESPN Plus and other like, whatever other NHL like fucking premium or NBA premium, all these channels.
Yeah.
The base cable isn't really, they're going to have like the generic camera, but I think the fucking smartest thing they could do is if you have these premium accounts, similar to as you pay for Disney Plus and Netflix Plus or YouTube fucking premium, to be able to get these features that not everyone has. The best thing that they should do is get ESPN Plus, put all those seats for sale. You fucking you sign in. It's a $10 a month or whatever
ESPN
it is.
VR. Like, is that what you're talking about?
Exactly. Or it doesn't even have to be VR. You could fucking have a channel on your ESPN where you pick what seat you want to be in, whether it's a box seat or whatever. And maybe $10 a month is anywhere in the arena, and $20 a month you get fucking the courtside fucking tickets or whatever.
That would be fucking nasty to see.
You pay $20 a month for a subscription based VR or a VR experience, and it doesn't even have to be a VR. It could literally be like you can streamline the single angle or like the wide shot angle where you're watching the fucking game, and you can have a VR so you can look left and right, or you can get a wide shot of the whole fucking thing from that point of view. Yeah. And then you could watch it on your TV with a bunch of other people, because you do it already with UFC, and you do it already with a bunch of other things, and it would almost add to that experience where like the point of watching sports with people is that bar experience or that courtside experience where you're having fucking beers and you're toasting and you're getting shit-faced watching the game, enjoying the game, and appreciating the athleticism of these fucking guys or of these athletes, I guess, not to be sexist. So the thing is like, if you give that experience to the people, and then you have, and it goes back to the whole Inception idea. If you give them the idea that, or the general psychological idea that they're paying for something that no one else has, they're going to be excited to pay that $10-20 premium to be able to have these courtside seats that only a certain amount of people in the nation have it. And then you have those people that host parties, and granted, it's still, we're still in that season of coronavirus, but maybe you're in a household of a family, or maybe it's gotten to the point, because there's going to be a point where it's going to be socially acceptable to be hanging out with people and having like 10 people or whatever,
small gatherings, like they were going into.
Because people are going to do it anyways. Or you have the outdoor seating at a fucking bar and they pay for it, and then everyone can watch the game, and then maybe they're in, just like some bars like Buffalo Wild Wings will pay for UFC fights while you can't go to Applebee's to go watch a UFC fight.
Correct.
You'll specifically go to that bar to get that experience. So what they need to do is create different packages, and I know it's not going to happen because they haven't done it to this point.
Exactly.
But they need to build these premium packages that make people excited about watching sports at home. And I don't think the reason why there's so many people going out to sports events is because there's no excitement at a bar or at home that they provide outside of just watching the game as a general, namesake. So
dude,
I think
I would be totally fucking down. I would spend $20 a month to see like NHL or even football, and being like in there with a VR headset where you're able to, because I don't think it would sell as much if you didn't have the VR, because you can just watch it on TV. You know what I mean? So like, nah. But having the VR experience and be able to, because especially if you had that widescreen shot, or if it was like focusing kind of like regular, sports are put on channels and stuff like that. But having the VR experience to be able to move your own head and doing whatever.
Think about this. You have a fucking restaurant, dude, okay? And you pay for 3 accounts, $60 a month or whatever, which is nothing for a fucking restaurant. And you have 3 TVs, and you even have splitters to go to different TVs. You have one side, which is courtside on the corner, where you see you can see the dunks and the slams happening, just like as if you were a sports team on the bench watching fucking LeBron James just fucking smash it on top of someone and fucking dunk on him. and you have that camera. Then you have a widespread camera that's a typical cable in the middle. And then on the right side, you have the other court doing the same thing, but like for home and away.
Yeah.
And then you can watch and have almost like a theater experience where it's like you have like the multicam happening at all the fucking same time. So you can watch these replays smash in the face, almost like you're at the fucking, you're sitting next to the LeBrons and Paul Pierce or whoever the fuck in the world to have that experience that no one else has, that the Jay-Z's of the world have, or the Drakes of the world have, but you've never seen it before. So it's gotta be, you have to be given something premium, because right now you're going to see a big decline in obviously ticket sales, but you might see a big increase in home viewing, which is something that the sports entertainment field has needed for years, because you could see the views going down and down, and esports is actually honestly blossoming and blooming right now for introverts. So what you need to do is, to make up for those ticket sales, is create these premium package experiences that are unforeseen. And then when the tickets get back in, people are going to jump the gun on that, but you're still going to have all the technology and like all the money invested into these premium packages that you'll constantly make money on, but still blossom on the avenue of like real life experience, because people are as soon as anything is open, concerts, festivals, sports games, everything's gonna be sold out come the next year.
Imagine how much money they can make if they're doing, like, before obviously a vaccine's made, say, anywhere before 2021. Imagine the revenue that you could get doing these subscriptions for anything. It doesn't even have to do with sports. Like you said, it could be festivals, like fucking, concerts. I don't know like what the extent would be, but I'm surprised they're not taking an avenue like that to be able to generate more money. The fucking country loves money, dude. This country fucking loves money, and it runs on it, bro. Like, I don't know. I think we made groundbreaking shit, and if we were a more popular podcast,
okay, I'm telling you right now, if you see it in the next 2 months, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, people.
If you see it, where's my cut?
Yeah.
I got one question for you. I'm flipping through the TV and I see, real life VR experience. I'm sorry, but where's my cut? Like,
dude, Jimmy Fallon already has it. You're gonna tell me the fucking NBA can't do it?
Yeah, literally.
You're gonna tell me there's not the greatest minds of the fucking world that are trying to build an experience? Why do you think the owner of Zoom just became a fucking billionaire, dude? Dude, the owner of Zoom just became a billionaire. Dude, if I would have known, because the first thing you would have thought is invest in fucking Skype, because Skype was the household name. People don't say Skype anymore. No. They say FaceTime or Zoom.
Yeah.
Skype is no longer the
dude. Let me take it one step further. Remember fucking Uvu? Uvu was a fucking big one too. That was exactly the setup of Zoom. It was exactly the setup of Zoom. I remember when I was in high school, I would Uvu with friends, and it was like 4 screens, exactly the same setup as Zoom that we're seeing right here on this podcast. Like, it was the exact same, dude. But people don't fucking realize. Zoom is
the way of the future, and we made this dude a billionaire overnight. You're going to tell me the fucking NBA can't think? And I think that's the problem sometimes with society right now, is they don't realize that technology and VR experiences and this real life experience while still being at home. Because what happens is you got everyone that's paranoid, and they're going to be paranoid every single little thing that comes up, because there's going to be COVID-esque diseases. And people, the thing is, you don't realize now COVID is such a standpoint within our regular day-to-day vernacular, is that the next thing that happens is going to be like, this is the new COVID.
Exactly.
This is the new coronavirus. And then it's going to be a scare tactic to people, where it's like, and I don't want to be the fucking Alex Jones of the podcast right now, but it's like, that's what it's going to be, is a lot of people are going to use that word to And it happens
because it's generationally relevant, because people don't say, like, back in the day, like, we've had the flu vaccines, at least for us generationally speaking, since we were born. We've always heard of flu vaccines and stuff like that. The Spanish flu is obviously like 100 years ago. You go back before that, there's, you know, X amount of things. You had H1N1 and stuff, but vaccines were found pretty quickly and it wasn't as dire. So, like, generationally being relevant, like, you're going to be like, oh, this is the new COVID, this is the new coronavirus, because we're going to go X amount of times. And you're right,
plenty of people that said this is the new 9/11, dude. Shortly after it happened, because there was all these small terrorist fucking things, and it was the same thing with school shootings, and which is so funny that that's not even a priority. And I was talking to our parents about this, where it's like school shootings aren't a priority because it's not on the news anymore. It's not being pushed as an endeavor. It's like, hey, try to one up the next fucking person. It's like now it's like everyone's concerned for their self, and there's no. I mean, the people with guns and the people that, like, the mental illnesses that are tied to with that they're still around. It's just there's a different priority. So when the news are fixated on different things, as people being idiots with the coronavirus in order to be a headline. And
dude, I can totally see it fucking happening now that you're saying that. And I didn't even think about it, but I guarantee, because you go on the fucking news, like, in the morning, I usually look at this, like, Snapchat stories called daily news. Half of it is like, oh, here's this Instagram model posing. But, like, sometimes it's like 90% of it is like, oh my God, like, this happened, this is big, you know, and they're trying to, and that's any media outlet. This is just one that's convenient for me because I look through, and it helps me, obviously, with the podcast to find some things that are outlandish but still kind of relevant. But yeah, dude, moving on to the future, it's going to be, is this the new coronavirus? Oh, we found this virus and it killed 3 people. Could this be another pandemic happening? Yeah. And it's going to be a scare tactic, just like school shootings were, just like public shootings were, just like, you know, fucking licking ice cream out of a tub at Walmart and getting arrested for it. Whatever the fuck it is, dude, you know?
That's what's going to happen. It is going to be a scare tactic. And I don't want to bash the news and be the
no, fucking bash away, dude. Like, that's literally what it is.
I don't want to bash the news and be the stereotypical, like, conspiracy theorists, where it's like, oh, the news are fucking pushing a certain agenda and propaganda to fucking scare us and everything.
But that's like, what it is.
That's what's going to be. Is like, it's going to make sense to say coronavirus because it's the most relatable. Just like when you're not asking people for fucking tissues to blow your nose, and you're asking people for Kleenexes because that's the most relatable thing.
You're branding something, whether it's a fucking pandemic or a facial tissue. It doesn't matter. You're putting your own fucking spin on it, and then you're highlighting it depending on what media outlet source you are, any way that you want. I don't know. I'm very much so the person that fucking is very skeptical of the news, although I rely on it because, 1, for this podcast, and 2, just for, you know, updates on, you know, the pandemic or who passed away or whatever it might be. But I've always been skeptical that the news pushes their own agenda, and there's so many different news outlets that do this, that you might have 7 different news outlets that push their own agenda or unify each other and say, hey, school shootings is the big thing. What do we have? How many people died? Oh, was it 1 person and 7 people got away? Perfect. Yeah. That's what we're pushing. You know, we're the first media outlet, and then, you know, it's a trickle effect. So it's like one or the other, but I don't know, man. I take a lot of things with a grain of salt. Obviously, more serious things like coronavirus, I'm not going to take WMUR and be like, oh man, you're tracking how many deaths and how many new cases. Like, I don't believe you. This is just your agenda. Like, that you're literally giving me the news at a certain standpoint. But in terms of, like, I don't know, dude, fucking Daily Mail, like, you know, dailymail.com, who fucking gives a shit? But sometimes I look at it. I don't know.
I think the thing that's interesting, and I want to go back after this whole thing has settled down, because it'll be interesting to see because obviously this is a informational podcast where we like look up the news and talk about stuff and talk about what's new to us, psychology, you know, whatever we want to talk about. It'll be interesting what sparked our interest 6 months ago compared to what happens after the coronavirus, because I feel like there was a lot of episodes where we were delving into school shootings or concert shootings or people building, you know, like a building endeavor or using rap lyrics or using that narrative to boost itself up. And then it's like, now it's like, all right, we're talking about coronavirus. And then you take like a 6ix9ine who just said, I was big before coronavirus. It's like, oh, is that the new fucking metaphor?
Yeah.
Or is there going to be I'm going to tell you right now, the next fucking thing we're going to talk about in a week or two is the rapper that makes the fucking narrative like fucking music video and song about walking around a supermarket or walking around life with a face mask and then talking about the coronavirus because it's relatable. It's like and like the Eminem that did this the concert shooting like narrative from the school the concert shooter or whatever. Like it's that is going to be done in the next month.
Or take it one step further and say, you know, the musician or artist that has gone through coronavirus and writes a narrative what it's like going through coronavirus. I saw today like one dude, he was like a bodybuilder and an actor, and he ended up losing 50 pounds and he was thin as shit.
I saw that. Yeah,
he was thin as shit and stuff like that. Like if he was like a musician or an artist, like we're going to be seeing a lot of narratives like that are outside of the encompassment of like stories. Like they're going to be it's going to happen in music. It's going to happen in, dude, look at fucking video games. People that are working at video games, you don't think they're going to fucking have like new pandemic games that are relatable to the coronavirus? Like those kind of games are going to fucking I mean, just on Netflix, the week the coronavirus hit, the top trending, there was 2 movies in the top 10 because they have them now the top 10 on Netflix. The 2 biggest movies were like The Pandemic and like The Virus or whatever the fuck it was called because like people fucking dive into that shit because they want to know more about it or theoretically know more about it.
Because you watch movies, and I was thinking about it too, walking around with a mask and watching other people with a mask. I'm like, dude, like if you just added like a eerie like mist or like green color or whatever to like my fucking contact lenses or whatever, and that's what I could see, this would literally be like what movies were shot in talking about the pandemic, where it's like people are like walking around and they have their masks and they're holding their kids away from people and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden you're like looking around and like, oh, you can really see everyone's got a mask on because an explosion happened and there's a gas leak that's fucking, you need to wear a mask or whatever. And it'd be interesting to see how true, like how well predictions or like, because obviously when these people do movies, they ask like scientists and they ask what would be like what would happen if a pandemic like took off like this, and I'd be curious how true it is to the current climate of our society, and how like if you watch a pandemic movie, if it's pretty fucking close, because the movie that won, was it the best movie award or whatever, like was about a pandemic, and it's just kind of,
it was the Chinese movie, correct, with subtitles? It was a subtitled movie.
International movie.
Fuck, I just saw it on Netflix, but I'm very curious to see what everything's gonna look like in by 2021, say February, if that's the correct, which it always changes, so it probably won't be, but the correct date. Like it's gonna get to the point where we're gonna hear the word coronavirus and we're gonna be sick of it. Just like, you know how zombie, I don't want to relate it. This is fucking weird.
The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead, Call of Duty zombies, fucking zombie video games, zombie this, World War Z, fucking this, and then you're like...
there's no zombie games anymore if you didn't notice, or zombie fucking
Left 4 Dead. You know, there's so many things, and now, like, the coronavirus, because it's a real life experience and that we're going to be fucking hitting the tail end of it, we're going to be seeing so much coronavirus shit, or I survived the coronavirus t-shirts or something like that, dude, where we're gonna be so pissed off. Like, dude, all right, you ready for this, dude? You fucking ready? You ready for this, dude? Hampton Beach.
Wait,
okay, what?
What's the shirt that says, keep calm and coronavirus on?
Dude, literally, it's gonna happen. You ready for this, dude? Hampton Beach is gonna have fucking coronavirus king and coronavirus queen sweatshirts for couples. Just saying. King and queen. Fuck, man. Dude, is that it? Fuck.
That's it.
That was a good episode. That flew by.
I know.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed this episode, and I don't want to. I really love the guests, but I think it's tough with 3 people because you're always talking over each other, and you always want to
especially with a Zoom meeting,
like,
especially on Zoom.
Oh yeah, exactly. And you want to like give the other people opportunity to talk, but then you want to change topics, and then you want to be like, all right, let's just talk about this for 10 minutes and walk away. Like, let's kind of like get through everything, because I want to know your insight on everything. I'm interested in your insight about this and this and this and this instead of just this. And, you know, like, so I think the fun thing about this episode is we took these topics and really dissected it, as opposed to trying to push 3 different narratives and trying to cram it. And, you know, like me and you shooting the shit for 20 minutes is different than everyone trying to get their share, you know, 4 or 5 minutes a piece or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. Like there's a special place in my heart for guest episodes because we get to show our close friends off to the world and what they're doing and what they love, which like makes us feel really fucking good. But then there's like this element in the solo podcast episodes, or the duo, I should say, podcast episodes that like we cheese to because we just have good narrative going back and forth. And we hope you guys enjoyed it because we had 3 weeks of guests. So getting back into the solo or the duo podcast is kind of difficult for us. Like
it is because even at the beginning I was like, fuck man, I don't know if like I'm in it the same way because I had grown accustomed to listening, you know what I mean, or like letting other people talk. That was like me and you had, I think going into the guest podcast was tough for us because we were so used to talking over each other and knowing just typical brother social cues to be like, oh, it's your turn. Oh, no, it's my turn. Oh, I got you. Oh, I'm going to carry this now. You stop for 5 minutes and I'm going to get it. I'm going to take it to the fucking touchdown. And it's like, but then when we had a third person on, we found it almost problematic, especially over Zoom, because you don't read the body language as well, like over Zoom, because, you know, you might be focused in on yourself while like in person, you just gather that just from being a person. So it's like, I know when we were talking to people, I was like, am I talking over them? Am I interrupting them? Am I not giving them enough time? Am I, you know, are me and Brennan ruling the show and not giving this person a chance to shine? So I know, and it happens with every single guest episode, but I felt more with the Zoom just because it's a video conference podcast. It's like, how the fuck do you do this? In person, you can just bash each other, while like on Zoom you feel a little bit more conscious of your actions.
Exactly. But no, we want to give a big thank you. I know we're dwindling down in viewers because getting towards the end we've hit like, I mean, we're still going a little bit above the time length that we wanted, but it's because we had a fucking fun silly time this episode.
Fun silly time.
A fun silly time. But yeah, so thank you everyone. If there are any guests, because we have probably, I don't know, a few weeks for Zoom podcasts. I don't really know what it's going to look like, but if there are any guests that you would enjoy seeing, or even enjoy seeing back on for future episodes, like I know Moses was a big commodity and people liked him, and then we had like Nick and Arthur, and even previous guests like the fucking like,
I think our dad
shout out to the Keep Up, you know, and then fucking Father Bergeron and Michael and the Dobro podcast, you know, like different things like that. If there's anyone that you would enjoy seeing, or anyone that you know that we know, if you're close to us, that you know we would have a fucking fun time with, like yeah, exactly, let us know. But thank you everyone for fucking watching tonight. It was a really good episode.
Yeah, no, definitely. Real quick, one thing we like to try, we've already done it, but for those of you tuning in, if you got to this point, that means you really enjoyed the podcast, and we can't thank you enough. But the one thing we want to preface to those people, if you really want to help us out, the biggest thing is, like Brennan said, do your little act of kindness and show it to one person that you think would enjoy this banter between us two, because I feel if you find it that entertaining, other people similar to you or in general will enjoy this podcast. Especially, I know there's a lot of podcast listeners. I feel like every person I've talked to that's a podcast listener has really enjoyed our dynamic and banter. So definitely one goal for and I feel like fucking preachy, but just show it to one person, or say, hey, like, man, like, you know, I don't mean to fucking step on. I know you got your regular murder mystery podcast that you're listening to, but do one thing for us and check out my buddy. Let me know what you think. Even if you don't like him, just fucking listen to him and like, comment, subscribe. The YouTube is one thing we're pushing. We're closing in on 200 subscribers. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, please follow, leave a review, whatever the fuck. It really helps the podcast more than you know. I've seen raving reviews on our Apple Podcasts, and it definitely really helps, because we see the analytics, and that's one thing that kind of drives us. We see all these videos go mini viral, and it means the world to us. So
yeah, definitely boosts our confidence and makes us want to keep pursuing this route and doing podcasts, especially through such a tough time. And then eventually we'll get back to the regular setup when we got fucking vaccines in our arms and fucking drinking bleach and shit, you know? And then we'll go back into it, and then we're going to be fucking having a fucking good time with the fucking Torn folk. I keep wanting to say fucking folklore, but it's Torn folk. You guys are the Torn folk. All right, but thank you very much, everyone. Come back next week. We try every single week to have 7:30. Like we said, show this podcast to someone. Show your love. Enjoy it, and have a wonderful week. And to all your families, stay safe and enjoy. All right, peace.